We've got a list of the alleged 50 best players for the 24-25 Premier League season. So we're going to have a look at it and talk about their importance and generally pick apart the list itself. So in 50th spot, Lisandro Martinez. Kai, I want to come straight to you because I know you're annoyed by this one.
Ooh. Yeah, so
45 minutes goes
away.
So one of the justifications for him being so low is because he's 5'9", and then the two words I hate most when it comes to Lisandro Martinez comes up: aerial duels. It's never been an issue,
Right?
and it always gets proved not to be an issue.
Because he's a wee little bulldog, isn't he?
And 5'9" is massive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Units. 5'9".
What? So you're saying he should be higher up in the list?
Yeah, when you see the other players that are above him.
49th spot, James Maddison. Do you think there are 48 players better than James Maddison in the Premier League?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Move on.
Would you pop in my... yeah, I don't know where to go after that.
What do you want me to say? No.
No, I don't know. How crucial is he to Tottenham?
Crucial to Tottenham, absolutely. I think you could probably have him higher if that's the metric. You saw when they played when we previously played Leicester. I don't know when this goes out, but there were moments in that first half like, wow, he's back. He's back. He's got foil and Solanke. He's comfortable.
New trim.
He was new trim, strange haircut, pulling strings though, back similar to what we had before. But in terms of his place on this list, you can't ignore 2/3 of last season where he was either injured or playing 5 out of 10 every game.
Was it that bad then?
Bad. He was ineffective, and as a number 10, that's the last thing you can be.
Is Maddison in your top 2 in terms of most important players that we need him?
If he's playing well, he's 100%. Like the first 10 games last season before he's injured, we were like, how have we got him for £40 million? Why did he come to Spurs? Surely someone else must have been interested in him.
But if I give you 2 tokens for 2 players that will be fit for every single game of the season, who would be the 2?
I think Van der Ven, given the way we play, is crucial. And so probably James Maddison.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
48th spot. I want to talk about him because maybe there's an angle on this. Is Jeremy Doku in the top 50 players of the Premier League?
Does he deserve to be?
Not for importance to see.
I think so. The problem, this is where I kind of fall down in terms of my view on it sometimes, is like any player, you could take most players out of Man City.
There are 2 or 3.
Be fine.
Yeah, there are 2 or 3 you can't.
I think what will be interesting and could age really well is this the way that Man City played this weekend, where kind of for the first time in a long time, 2 players really holding the width, whereas previously they haven't done that. If that is the road that Pep's going to go down in, let's say, big games or just generally, then Doku's going to be a big part of that. And so there's 2 players that want to get to the byline, which is what Pep said in his interview afterwards. 46th spot, Diogo Jota, but Nunes is in 38th spot.
But he played last season, so you can understand. Nunes played, didn't he?
But is that what the metric they're going on the list with?
So I mean, it's
how
such an amalgamation.
How important can Jota be if he's injured? Whereas Nunes is important if he can regain some sort of form. But you can understand if this list has been created that Nunes would be below him.
I think it's a weird time for Liverpool because I bet if you ask 10 Liverpool fans what's your expectation for this season, I think you'd get at least 6, 7 kind of like views on it. And I think I don't know what I just got it in my head. I just feel like Jota's going to score at least 20 this year.
I've got Liverpool finishing 3rd just because of the strength they've got. Yeah. And I think, he could easily, like you say, score 20, 25.
45th is John Stones. 44th is Konaté. That's outrageous to me.
You've had enough.
Yeah. I'm going to smash this computer up.
The podcast's dead.
And that's yeah. And I don't know who the rest are. So should we move to?
Well, Konaté, I mean, this is one game, but Quansah was picked ahead of him.
Yeah, Konaté came on at half time, didn't he? But yeah, I know what you mean. I think, or John Stones. I guess by that logic, you could say John Stones didn't even start that game. But you can't I don't think. Again, if we do a straw poll, I think if you have 100 football fans, maybe if they're not English fans, it'd be a fairer shout, or Liverpool or Man City fans. Who would you pick, Stones or Konate?
It's got to be 70-30
Got to be
Stones,
Stones,
isn't it?
isn't it?
70-30 Stones, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think maybe in this list, Stones is... No, actually, I'm not having it, Ryan. I'm sorry. This is my first huge bugbear. Konate cannot be above Stones. And Lewis Dunk is above both of them.
Don't start me.
Dan?
Mark Gay's not on the list, and Lewis Dunk is. Mark Gay, who started every single
game for
game at the Euros, while Lewis Dunk sat and handed out water
He's
bottles
right.
and cones, man.
Why?
It's ridiculous. He was literally the best defender of the tournament for England. And that's not just me. That was in the Opta team of the season, team of the tournament.
Agree.
What is Lewis Dunk? He's not even in the bottom 10 of the list. He's like 30 odd. I looked at him and was like, what? I can't.
Isn't he important to Brighton?
Is he more important to Brighton than Mark Gay is to us?
Possibly.
All right, let me
possibly.
play devil's advocate there. You were successful last year without Mark Gay towards the end of the season.
Whereas Lewis Dunk is crap.
Okay. That's the energy. I love that.
Leandro Trossard, 42nd. That...
Careful.
I like Trossard.
Good
And
player.
Jock kept Martinelli out of the team, rightfully so.
Wait till see where Martinelli is.
I'm okay to move. Oh God, I'm okay to move on from there. Szoboszlai, 41st. Sorry. Interesting season for him as well, actually. And a few of those like attacking midfields, like Harvey Elliott didn't start the game against Ipswich, but I think a lot of people feel like he's got a big season to play. Kyle Walker in 40th spot. Ben White is 19th, 21 places higher than Walker.
Explain that then.
Well, he fell out with Southgate, didn't he? Is that the answer? Kyle Walker had a stinking Euros, in my opinion.
Ben White wasn't even there. Ben
talking
White
about-
refused to play.
Are we
That's
talking
got
about-
nothing to do with talent, is it?
We might be talking about
Yeah,
the
it's the
importance for
attitude.
their teams coming up across this season. We talked in the previous podcast about Rico Lewis and potentially.
Yeah, and that was my second one. So the second thing is that he's 34. If I said to you, I can't ask you this, Flo, because it's not the right person, but because he's Arsenal. But if I said to you, look, do you want Ben White or do you want Kyle Walker?
Well, no, long term, it obviously makes sense.
No, this season. Let's say
this season.
on loan.
Probably. Well, it's so difficult that because they're not the same, are they? So it's. I think in terms of the importance to their teams across this season, it is a reasonable thing to say that Ben White is going to be more important to Arsenal's potential success than Kyle Walker will be to Manchester
We don't know
City.
what the solution to Ben White's absence from Arsenal would be because he's been so reliable over the years. So what would they do?
And that's why he's high.
Well, it's
Yeah,
good-
in terms of
Maybe he
importance.
was right.
Yeah, maybe he was right.
Ryan-
He's this Ryan guy.
Ryan
He knows his
was
stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's good.
Get him on a pod.
Yeah, probably should have got him on the pod. To be fair.
really.
He should. A huge apologies, Ryan, but hopefully we'll put a link to the article in the description. Hopefully people can go and enjoy your fantastic writing. The next one I'm going to get annoyed at, Ryan, is 39. Gabriel Jesus.
There must be.
There's so many Arsenal and Man City players in here, which again, I get it, and I'm struggling with the criteria of the whole thing. And also, let's remember that Ryan's this has been data driven. Kai Havertz is only 2 spots further up. He's 37th. Here's a question: out of Havertz, Nunez, and Jesus, who's the best?
On form, it's Havertz.
Yeah, I would go Havertz, to be honest.
It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing now can turn around, isn't it?
What a recovery! What's the word? Recovery arc? Recovery
Redemption
arc?
arc? No.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like
Renaissance.
70,
All
was it
the
65
Remontada.
million?
Although, I will say,
Very good.
when he first went into Chelsea, there was an incredible amount of excitement about what he was going to be.
Yeah.
At Chelsea, yeah.
There was.
Because at Leverkusen, he was
It
great.
was a huge part of Leverkusen. Like, he was one of those kids that was going to be the next, batch.
Yeah.
I do.
And his for people 20 or under, his numbers in the season are right up there with the best.
I understood completely why Arsenal went and spent the money they did. I understand why Arsenal fans were excited about it. And I'm not... It's odd. The Premier League is this all-encompassing sort of chaos that can go on. And you can become so clouded by the last 12 months of someone's career
That might be what I'm doing with Jesus.
that you just... Yeah, maybe. But I think if you're talking about importance to Arsenal, I don't think he will be anywhere near as important as Kai Havertz will be.
What would be playing? If he was.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins is 36th.
He should,
That's
he should surely be
nuts.
top 20.
I'd say put him probably top 10.
Maybe.
So his importance to Villa.
It's huge. for them.
Crucial.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
The way they play, his goals.
He's
I
certainly
don't-
more important to Villa than I don't want to go down the list quicker than you want to. But Enzo Fernandez, he's not important to anybody.
So yeah, Ollie Watkins way too low for me. Should be much higher. I think we were doing. Oh yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely, and absolute top 20. Probably yeah, you're right. Top 10. Yeah, definitely top 10.
Do we know where this Ryan
again,
lives? Where does he live?
Again, if you look at the actual,
Just get on that, Kai. Can you get where Ryan by the end of the pod? We'll just
Link in the description.
his number.
if you look at the clubs, we're not going to reveal it yet, but if you look at the clubs that litter the top 10, there is some big six bias there.
Yeah,
Because Watkins, obviously, if he went to a Premier League title contender from the start of the season, he would be higher by definition. And that's almost doubly ironic because he wouldn't be as important to them as he is to Aston Villa.
Do you know what we should do here? When we get to that top 5, 10, you can then look at the rest of the list and go, someone else should be in that
swap
instead.
them out for
yeah,
that.
yeah, let's do that.
Ollie Watkins is probably one of the most valuable players in the Premier League.
Yeah,
What
to
it would-
that club, yeah.
What it would cost to get him out of Villa, what Villa would demand. There'd be few players that are worth more than Ollie Watkins.
Brian Mbeumo, 35th. I'm
I don't
okay
mind
with
that.
it.
I think that's quite a good shout.
I've had to sort of eat some humble pie with Brian Mbeumo. The first season in the Prem, I was just
remember.
like, "What? Come on, man.
Rubbish.
He just couldn't finish. He couldn't finish, but he's definitely
just
figured
like
that out. Yeah, due to some fantastic one-on-one coaching with friend of the podcast, Dan Edwards. Enzo Fernandez, 34th. His position for Chelsea, a bit like an England 11, where there's kind of like you can't put Adam Wharton in because we've got to get this guy and this guy and this guy in. Is that going to be a problem for Enzo Fernandez?
It's a problem for Enzo
It's a
Fernandez.
problem for every Chelsea player.
It's a problem for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's a problem for both. It's certainly a problem. Is Maresca brave enough to go, sorry, Enzo, Dewsbury Hall, he knows the position better than you, and he's going to get goals for me. That's why I don't think he's brave. I don't think he's brave enough.
Well, that's down to the way that Clear
What
Lake
is-
have sold the job to Enzo Maresca.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What does brave mean? Does brave mean upsetting the fan base? Too late. Done that. He doesn't. He was fine with dropping established first team players out of that squad.
So I would say brave in the sense that Enzo Fernandez becomes an unbelievable world-class player as soon as he's on the bench. Like every team.
I know what you mean.
Like every team. Because Dewsbury
We
Hall
would have
is
won
not
without, yeah.
he's not as sexy.
Yeah.
And Enzo Fernandez is a really good footballer in the right team, but the way that they want to play right now, I think against lesser sides, I think you can play him as a deep line playmaker, and I think you can control the game. There's a bit more cohesion there, and I think he could be really, really good.
Just on Dewsbury Hall quickly, and I'm going to drop his name again, but this is pertinent. Mark Goldbridge.
All right.
He,
Say Chris Wood.
I said,
I was waiting for Chris Wood. I was like, how have you got there?
no, you wait. He's coming. I said, why have Chelsea bought Dewsbury Hall? And he said, Maresca loves him. He said, I said, what was it? Why didn't he love you? And he went, Dewsbury Hall's a sponge. He just sits, he listens, and then he's able to directly do exactly what he's asked of in the pitch. And that's quite rare to have. So Maresca doesn't know what he's walking into at Chelsea. What he's learning, but he knows Dewsbury Hall can...
Trusted lieutenant.
Exactly, yeah.
But is he brave enough to do it?
I'll tell you what, he's not brave enough. I don't know if this is going to make the cut if you edit around this at all, but I've got to say this. What Enzo Fernandez got up to while he's with Argentina, they've not only not, reprimanded him, they've not punished him, they've made him bloody captain.
So I'll just do a few. Akanji, Eze in 32nd. Go on, boy. Do QPR get any money for that? No, I don't think so.
Sorry about that.
Alexander Isak, 31st.
That's low. That.
Do you know what I think? In terms of importance, Callum Wilson there hurts him a little bit. He might be a bit higher. Andy Robertson in 30th. They've not got another left back, maybe. They've got Shibaka's, haven't they?
Yeah.
Jesus. Luis Diaz in 29th. Vardiol, very good. Alexis McAllister, 27th. Emi Martinez, 26th. Our first goalie.
Crucial to Villa.
Romero, 25th. Switched off, didn't he, against Leicester? Disappointing.
It was a bit.
But Messi says he's the best, so we'll leave it there. Akanji in 24th. Is he better than Akanji? Sorry, Ake, in 24th. Is he better than Akanji? He's a little bit further back.
If I had to choose, I'd have Akanji for sure.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
Akanji is one of the most underrated.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's one of the best
good in the world,
centre-backs in the world.
But again,
Honestly believe that.
it's the City thing, isn't it? They've got so much quality in pretty much every position. We said it about Rico Lewis in the first podcast. If Akanji was playing for even Spurs, he would just get more noise.
Do you know what, though? They've got great seeds, but they've got a great greenhouse as well. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why,
Of course it's going to grow.
yeah,
Of course it's going to grow.
It would be a
they
travesty.
do
if it
grow
didn't.
them well. Kieran Trippier, will he even start for Newcastle this season? I'd love to know that because he's in my FBL team. But 23rd on this list. 22nd, Jack Grealish. 22nd best player in the Premier League. Kai, thoughts? Based on what he's putting here?
Yeah, based on what?
I don't know.
You can't base that on last season, can you?
What was Doku for 47?
48.
Do you think? Okay, but on importance, no. But where is he in the top 22 players in terms of being the best? If you keep in mind the Villa Grealish and him being important in that sense. If you take him and put him in any other team,
is he ever going to be that at City?
Take him to Tottenham. Should have signed him.
He should have done.
Oh, I'd be so good for you.
I mean, with
Imagine Maddison.
You'd
and
love him
Grealish.
as well, wouldn't you?
Madison and Grealish are the same 11.
And Maddis just out all the time.
Just vibes.
Just out in a club. Just out in a club.
Just out.
I mean, little balloons in the hands. Take gas responsibly. I'm supposed to do that today.
No.
It's not on me. Heung-min Son in 21st. Allison 20th. Ben White, there he is.
That's
in
the score we get
19th.
back.
Gabriel in 18th. Martinelli. Now this is where we start to get.
Yeah, we get into
we're very Arsenal Man City heavy.
The meat and
Martinelli in
bones of it.
17th.
I mean, I've got a problem
What's the
with it.
truth? What's the truth? Is he two
I
seasons ago,
find
Martinelli, or is he this
Martinelli's
season?
such a strange one because I saw a tweet that was a video in preparation for this in terms of the worst takes, and there was an Arsenal fan saying, "Get him out. You know, he's useless. He's one of the three players." Although the other two players he said he'd get rid of was Saka and Odegaard.
Oh, that's
so-
Specs.
Yeah.
Specs. Yeah,
And
I
I-
think he's a comedian.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
But the general trend around Martinelli is far more that
he's trending
way.
back. He's trending down in
You
people's
know,
minds, isn't
but
it?
whenever I've watched Martinelli, I always feel like there's another level that he could go to, and it frustrates me even as a neutral because I feel like he could be a real difference maker for them. It just never.
And he was, wasn't he, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm talking about getting over the line with a title, though.
Yeah,
You know,
I think he is a live wire.
I think there's something in him playing him centrally, and I don't know where that works. City.
I think the player he was 2 years ago I think that's the best use of him because he's lightning, isn't he? As
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
He's lightning. He's direct. He's got good feet.
God, I mean, if you want to realise his potential, some stage you've got to look at it and go, maybe this isn't.
What? Just quit. Should try.
Like, there's better opportunities elsewhere to win trophies, aren't there?
Chelsea.
They can't keep not winning.
Chelsea can't join the crew.
Bernardo Silva in 16th.
Fine. Yeah,
I
that's-
think he's got to be higher. Has to be higher. Has to be higher.
What, even now, in
Higher
terms of
than-
importance?
He's so every Man City game I watch, I'm just mesmerised by him.
I think he's got to be higher than
He's-
De Bruyne.
I think maybe it's almost
Wonderful.
because he's been so good for so long. If he'd come in 2 years ago and performed in the way that he has for the last 2 years, you'd probably have him higher. But because he's been there and he's been that guy.
He's so The thing with him that people don't kind of pick up on, say like Kevin De Bruyne, he puts in. He's a bit more impactful in terms of like literally like being memorable. Like he'll smash one in from 30 yards. De Bruyne, like Silva doesn't do that. It's like little passes. It's
Yeah,
like
he'll play
picking up in
yeah.
different areas. It's like it's making like smart moves to get out of like a little nook in your own third that then leads to it. Like,
He's
probably-
a purist footballer.
He's
so good.
probably the reason Cole Palmer isn't at the football club.
Cole Palmer 14th. He's happy with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Bruno Fernandes 13th. Now, Kai thought that Bernardo Silva should be higher than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Again, when we're mixing up the most important and the best, that's where I'm sort of struggling with those two. I think I would have ended up putting them in a very close bracket,
Yeah.
which I guess they kind of are. Bruno Fernandes, I think, is very, very, very important.
Do Manchester United work without Bruno Fernandes on the pitch? Not as well, do they? They barely work at all.
Can I
so-
I'll chuck something out there. Like, again, so say in the summer, say you were able. Bruno Fernandes is unbelievable, right? People are going to be screaming at this. But if you took 90 million for him, right?
How old is he?
29.
Is it PSG 90 million? And you take him out, and you have a more of a kind of machine as opposed to Bruno Fernandes, who again I think he's awesome, but he is the guy,
Yeah.
and he's had to be the guy as well, like to create chances and stuff. Do you think you could? I mean, you probably couldn't trust Man United to use that 90 million, but like, could you make the sum of the parts better?
I know it's a great question.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
do exactly know. And the answers would be very, very difficult.
I don't think you
Yeah.
get buy-in from the fans.
Bruno Guimaraes in 12th, just above, wins the battle of the Brunos. Two Brunos side by side there. That's a question. Who would you rather have out of those two? Interesting. Declan Rice in 11th, Saliba in 10th, Virgil van Dijk in 9th. As guys put in here, aura tax. Has he been put in the top 10 because we're scared of him shouting at us?
I think in terms of his importance to Liverpool, look, if you're asking that question, there isn't much between Saliba and Van Dijk in terms of their importance to their respective football clubs. Shows how good Saliba is if they were to lose him, how good Arsenal are, but how important he is to them. Anyway, I would sort that round, but we're splitting hairs really.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne in 8th. Again, overall, I think there's a general understanding he's maybe on the wane a touch, but he's still
Kevin De Bruyne.
awesome. Yeah. Trent in 7th spot.
We're ahead of. I think in terms of importance to Liverpool, I mean, you saw it against Ipswich. He's a huge part of the way they play.
Pass that.
And also, if you speak directly to Liverpool fans about this, they will be like, of course. There is, at least from my perspective, outside of the Liverpool bubble, less of an appreciation for what Trent is.
Right, top 6. Bukayo Saka, Mo Salah, Phil Foden, Odegaard in 3rd, Haaland in 2nd, and Rodri in 1st.
Rodri number 1.
Can
we have a special mention for Chris Wood? Because as importance to Nottingham Forest, keeping them in the league, Chris Wood guarantees it if he's given 38 league games. He bags 50.
Does he?
He's a bagsman.
He guarantees you survival.
It guarantees you a chance, good chance of survival.
I was just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, sorry, I went big.
Yeah.
He scores you 15. He scores 15 goals for Forest.
15 to go.
What's that?
Does he start in front of Awani?
He should.
I haven't looked into that, but if I do, 1 season alone, you just pick. I just need a name, nothing else. Okay, so Saliba, Van Dijk, pick one.
Saliba.
Yeah, Saliba.
Yeah. De Bruyne or Trent?
De Bruyne.
I'll have Trent. I'm not sure I believe that. Bukayo Saka or Mo Salah?
Saka.
First, okay.
Saka.
He's got an Everton shirt, hasn't he? He's like, Saka. Wow.
Mo Salah.
Phil Foden or Martin Odegaard?
Foden.
He's gone out. He's gone out.
He's got it out.
Get out there.
All right, let's go anti-clockwise. You've got 2nd.
Okay.
Done. So hard.
You talking about for Palace here? Because you said one. You said one. No, you said 1 season loan. You said 1 season loan.
Like, for a team, it's the first pick. We don't know the rest of the squad yet.
You bastard. Foden.
Just.
Foden just. Odegaard's higher in this list. And Haaland or Rodri, I guess that doesn't really work.
Rodri.
Well, yeah, goals or just overall control.
Rodri.
I think Manchester City have got...
Rodri, more. You'd rather have Rodri. You're starting a squad, first pick, you can have Rodri or Haaland.
Rodri.
I think Manchester
game,
City have got more chance of winning a title without Haaland than they do without Rodri.
Would you want Rodri and...
What was that sound?
What happened to my mouth?
Your cheek squeaked.
Rodri and Solanke or Haaland and Bentancur?
Go again. Sorry.
Rodri and Solanke.
Yeah,
it's Rodri and Solanke.
Yeah, because with Rodri in the centre of everything, you can build around it.
Solanke could score,
I think we're actually at a point where Rodri is a world-class centre-back. He's possibly a world-class 10 if he was just given time in that position.
Centre midfielder, you mean? You said
10.
No, he's talking about all over the pitch.
Yeah, I think he could play as... I think he plays... I think
play anywhere.
If you watch a Man City game, right, and don't think of Rodri as a 6, just think that someone else playing 6, he's a 10. He actually, in terms of what he creates...
Probably fine, yeah.
He'd be absolutely fine. So, my most important players in the Premier League this season, Abir Eze, Mohamed Salah, Bukayo Saka, Bruno Guimaraes, and Bruno Fernandes.
Adam Wharton at Palace. I've got Rodri City, obvious reasons. Got Bowen at West Ham. And Chris Wood Forest. Is that 5, I think?
Yeah.
And Saliba Arsenal got as well.
Bukayo Saka at Arsenal Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United for the reasons you've already touched upon. Eze at Crystal Palace for the reasons you've already touched upon. Mo Salah, just incredibly consistent, incredible longevity. And even though they've got a new manager in there, you know that he is a guarantee of production. The final one, Cole Palmer at Chelsea, because he is the only person last year that gave them anything to feel solid about.
So I've got Rodri, Saka, don't need to touch on them. Pickford, you'll get this as England fans. When the opposition have got a penalty and you've got a 60% feeling that he's going to save it, it's just different. Then I've got Ollie Watkins, goals, assists, movement, everything. Adds so much goals to them where you can't really see where other goals would come from. And then I've got a player that really speaks to me, like Jamie Vardy. The 2 Red Bulls and the Snuzz combination before the game. That, at 37, when Ronaldo is there, not drinking, doing everything by the book, and Jamie Vardy's just ripping it all up.
And that's why he's important.
It's important because nobody else can do that
Right.
and still score goals.
Okay. 5 best players in the Premier League. Okay. I'll go first. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Good. The 5 best players in the Premier League are Rodri, Salah, Bernardo Silva, Bukayo Saka, and Erling Haaland.
Rodri, Van de Ven, Saliba, Foden, Chris Wood.
Rodri, Haaland, Odegaard, Saka, Foden.
I think we've got the same list. I've got Salah, Rodri, Saka, Bernardo, Haaland. Is that the same?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Weird.
I'm going to add Decore.
Nice.
Useful.
Check, yeah.